Hello everyone, my name is Solanlly Pérez and in this video I will tell a little about my experience learning English. I want to start by talking about the sounds that have given me the most difficulty when learning English. These are the consonant sound of the phonetic table. This is the phonetic table. Within the table, there is a set of symbols that are used to record the pronunciation of a word. As you can see inside the table are the vowels and the consonants. It also happens that the phonemes or sound of English are not the same as in Spanish. The sound that have given me the most difficulty when pronouncing that are those of the consonant. In English, there are 24 consonants. Are these as the ones that have been most difficult for me. So, the phrase, the sounds is very difficult for me is this. I used to pronounce it as day, but it's rarely pronounced like this. V. I used to think I was pronounced like that because I assimilated that it was a letter D and D and A and had a normal sound. The next sound is very difficult for me is this sound I also found it difficult to pronunciation the in Spanish. They tend to be pronounced like this but in English it's like that. It's like your tongue and stay in the middle of your mouth without touching anything, and you get the sound out. The other example is the sound. I used to think it was pronounced like this, oh, but it's actually pronounced like this is. Okay, for example, thing. The pronunciation that at the moment makes me very difficult is this sound. It's sh. I don't know. It's a bit complicated for me since it's difficult for me to cut pronunciation and no language it. Another pronunciation is making it very difficult for me is this pronunciation. Z, z. At this moment, this pronunciation is difficult for me because I confuse it a lot with the letter C. It's difficult for me to differentiation between the two. So, okay. Now, I will tell about some examples to produce the different places of articulation. Consonants imply some constriction on airflow. Well, when the air passes through the open vocal cord, we call this diphthong, and when the air passes through the vibrating vocal cord, they are called voiced sound. For example, s and z. The example is the sound is password, and the other example of this sound, the z, is reason. If we put our hand on the third and pronounce this and then the z, you will notice that in the z there is a vibration. So there are also bilabial sounds that are produced with both lips. For example, pa, pa is the first sound is pa, pa. The example of the sound is help, help. The other example is the sound is b, b, b. The example is the sound is rabbit, rabbit. And the other is m, m. The example is the sound is money, money. If we notice in this example, we made a union of two lips, b, b, m. Okay, let's continue. Other example is gentle sound. These are produced with the upper lid and the lower lid. For example, the first sound is the example is the sound is off, off, and the other sound is v, v. And the example is the sound is lovely. Okay. The other example is inertial sound. There are some inertial sounds that are produced with the tongue between the upper and lower part, for example. And the other sound in this is v, v. The example, the first sound in this is thing, thing. And the other example of this sound is this, is this, this. Okay? And the alveolar sound with the tongue or near the ribs just by hand, the upper front it, for example, t, ch. The other sound is the, and the other sound is s, s. For example, the first sound is better, better. The other example is the second sound is hard, hard, hard. And the other example, the third sound is city, city. Okay? And the bilateral sound, those are produced on the pilot or roof of the mouth. For example, the first sound is sh, sh. The other sound is z, z. And the other sound is z, z. And the example of the first sound is sheep, sheep. The example, the second sound is vision, vision. And the other example, the third sound is yellow, yellow. Okay? And I'm going to read the next paragraph. Okay? So, Pinkerton learned of a plot by secessionists to call President-elect Lincoln in Baltimore prior to his arrival in Washington. Baltimore was an inevitable stop along Lincoln's road, and plans were in place for him to depart for a launch engagement before continuing on to Washington. A group called the National Volunteers planned to cause a distraction in the front, a riot allowing self-titled caption for Ranjani to commit the ultimate crime. After his discovery of the shame, Pinkerton met with Lincoln in Chicago, with the intent of convincing him to alter his tribal argument. Lincoln was skeptical of Pinkerton's information and decided to rearrange his schedule. However, other private detectives hired by the government then confirmed that they too had learned of the plot. This information persuaded Lincoln to take a wise action. Thank you very much.